Hey Columbus, Troy again with Ohio Men's Health. Welcome. Today we've been going through some of the frequently asked questions that we've been getting from our website and phone calls. And the videos we've put out today are all about frequently asked questions. So if you subscribe to us and you see these come right out to your inbox, boom, 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 it's because I'm just going through some frequently asked questions that came through today and having a lot of fun doing it. First, before we get started with today's video, which is going to be all about what are the downsides to replacement therapy? What are the downsides? What are the potential risks? Which I will always discuss with you in our consultation after we draw blood work. If you're a candidate, are there downsides? Sure. Are there potential risks? Absolutely, you betcha. But before we get into the information, here's how you find us once again. You can go to columbuslowt.com. You can find us on YouTube, and if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. We've got a list of about 80 frequently asked questions I'm going to be going through, and these will come right to your inbox. And that way you don't have to worry about trying to find these videos. They just come right to you. And we're going to keep putting these out 2 to 4 videos a week of great information. And that way you can start to learn more. You can educate yourself, which is unbelievably important. You can find us on TikTok at Ohio Men's Health. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Ohio Men's Health. So today's information. What are the downsides to testosterone replacement therapy? First and foremost, okay, when it comes to downsides, first, you have to be a candidate for it. Are there reasons that we shouldn't use testosterone replacement therapy? Absolutely. Or are there times when we should exercise caution? Absolutely. Let's go through those first. So contraindications, okay? Big contraindications, meaning reasons that we should not do this, okay? If you've had a stroke or a previous blood clot, those are pretty solid reasons not to do it, and or if you have prostate cancer or if you've previously had prostate cancer. Those are our big no-nos, okay? Now, does that mean that we absolutely can't use replacement therapy? No. I recently had a fellow who's had significant clotting issues in the past. He's had pulmonary emboli, clots in his lungs, clots in his legs. Now, he's anticoagulated considerably. His testosterone's low. He's miserable. His quality of life is poor. I met with he and his wife. I said, listen, this is a risk. I'm not comfortable with this. You first need to see your hematologist and your family doctor. You need to get clearance. So he got clearance, and he's anticoagulated. And they said, listen, as long as this is monitored closely, we keep levels relatively low, it'll be safe. So what are the downsides? Well, this stuff can potentially cause blood clots. So can this potentially cause blood clots in people that are high risk? Yes. And that's one of the reasons we do an initial consult. And that's one of our reasons for the initial examination. Like if you're on replacement therapy, nobody's looked at you. If you're doing one of these online programs, nobody's looked at your profile. Nobody's done extensive blood work. Big no-no, big red flag. We have to watch this closely, and we have to watch blood counts closely. So that's one of the downsides, is we have to watch blood counts, and we need to be considering your medical history. Now let's talk about blood counts, because this is another one of the downsides. What happens is testosterone, even at replacement doses, which is mild to moderate, is performance enhancing, meaning that it can make our body make more red blood cells, okay? So we can make more red blood cells. Now, in some instances, does that help things? Sure. It makes us run faster, it gives us better exercise tolerance, etc. But if it gets to be too high, that can put us at risk. So one of the downsides is, for some men, I have to have you frequently donate blood, because the blood counts can elevate in some men. That's not for everybody. That does happen. It's not extremely common, but it happens. And a lot of men I'll put on baby aspirin therapy to help with that. Some men just need to frequently donate blood. So that's one of the downsides to it. This can also cause some hair thinning. Now you can see my hair is thinning. I have a family history. Both sides of the family are pretty much so void of hair. And in some men, testosterone can then convert over to what's called DHT. And DHT can contribute to hair loss. So that can be a downside. Now, some men that go on replacement therapy have hair loss. It's pretty uncommon. I would say 5 to 10% of folks will notice some thinning. It's pretty rare that we get to the point that I'm at. But that being said, if it does occur, if you notice you go on replacement therapy and you go into the sink in the morning and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm brushing your hair, and you see some more hair than you typically would, there's some shampoos and creams we can use to combat that. But that is a potential downside to it, is that we can see that. Another downside is the conversion of testosterone into estradiol or estrogen. And we have to watch estrogen. A lot of men we put on an aromatase inhibitor, which means we're going to stop the testosterone from this aromatization, this conversion into estrogen. Because if the estrogen levels get high, we start to see nipple sensitivity, breast tenderness. We might see what are called man boobs. A lot of guys have heard this before, that you might hear of, man boobs. Gynecomastia is the medical term for it. So we have to watch the estradiol levels really, really closely. And those are some of the biggest downsides. Now, lastly, is that big downside to replacement therapy is that it is something that you'll need to do lifelong, okay, if you want the testosterone levels to be normal and stable. If you have a complete deficiency where the testosterone is low and it's extremely low, it's not likely going to build itself back up. It's not likely going to come back on its own. And if you have a partial deficiency, in whether it's a partial deficiency or a complete deficiency in their symptoms, it does typically take replacement therapy to manage those symptoms long term and keep the levels at a stable dose where we don't see those symptoms as frequent. Those are the big downsides to testosterone replacement therapy. Hope this helps. Again, you can find us by going to columbuslowt.com. You can find us on YouTube. If you're already watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. And we're going to continue to put out over 70 to 80 frequently asked question videos. We're going to do 2 to 4 a week. And you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram at Ohio Men's Health. We'll see you next time, and have a great night.